Thank you, everybody. Good evening. It's great to be here, and I want you to know that my presentation is an audience participation presentation. So the first opportunity for you to participate starts right now. How is everybody tonight? Really? How is everybody tonight? Good. You'll get another opportunity in a little bit. My name is David Brode. I'm running for the Juvenile Probate Division of the Court of Common Pleas. One judge, two courts. Make note of that. We'll come back to it. I am a lifelong resident of Portage County. I'm 57 years old. I was born and raised in Ravenna. I lived in Ravenna most of my life. I currently live in Garrettsville. I've been there for about 4.5 years. I have two children. My oldest son, Michael, is with me tonight. And he is the proud father of Braxton, my first grandson. I'm married to his wife, Allie, and I'm very proud of them. They're great parents. 6 months into this, and they've figured out this parenting thing. We're very proud of them. My youngest son, Matthew, is 17 years old. He is not here tonight because he's cooking at his job at the Bob Evans restaurant in Streetsboro. He is a senior at this school where he is a member of the culinary arts program. He, at this point, thinks he wants to be a chef when he grows up. So those are my children. I graduated from Ravenna High School in 1975. I went to Kent State University where I earned a bachelor's degree in business administration in 1980. In 1985, I completed my master's degree in business administration at Kent State University. And in 1990, I finished my law degree at the University of Akron. In my professional career, I have spent working in the commercial banking business. I spent 6 years working for initially what was the old First National Bank and Trust Company of Ravenna, became part of the First Bank Group, became part of Bank One, and is now part of the Chase organization. I finished my banking career working for Huntington National Bank as a branch manager for the office here in Ravenna. After I left the banking business, I became the chief financial officer for a private corporation up in Independence, and then thereafter I served a 4-year, 3-month term as the elected director of finance for the city of Ravenna. Something that I think will be pertinent as I go on in my presentation, so I'll come back to that as well. While I was still the finance director, I became a magistrate in the juvenile and probate courts here in Portage County. Notice, juvenile and probate courts. Judge position that I'm running for, I was already a magistrate in those courts. I served in that position for 11 years, and during that time I heard and decided literally thousands of cases in the juvenile and probate courts. I know a little bit about juvenile and probate court. In 2002, I left the court and I joined our county prosecutor's office. I have been with the county prosecutor ever since. I am currently assigned as the general counsel for the County Department of Job and Family Services Agency. That means I am the legal representative for every bit of business that agency transacts. I spend, however, most of my time handling child abuse, neglect cases, and adult protective services cases for that agency, which, if you might guess, those cases are heard both in the juvenile and probate courts. Are you starting to see a little theme here in terms of my background and my experience? My entire 23.5 years of part of my legal career has been spent doing the business of the juvenile and probate courts in this county. That's why I'm running for this seat. Currently, I work as part of a team that includes caseworkers, detectives, law enforcement officers, the detectives from the Sheriff's Department who are assigned to the agency. Everybody I work with, especially the caseworkers. Let me just talk about the caseworkers. Every one of those people, to a person, is overworked, underpaid, deals with just awful, ugly circumstances. I could stand here all night and tell you all kinds of war stories. You don't want to hear them. There are people out there that will mistreat children in ways you can't even imagine. They deal with people who are mean and rude to them and are not nice people. And every one of those people, despite being underpaid, overworked, and having to deal with all of that, every single one of them has a passion for what they do, a passion for protecting children. And as a part of that team, I have that passion as well. And that's one of the primary motivations for running for this seat. That's enough of the background, the boring stuff. Let's talk about the nuts and bolts of this. Here comes your next opportunity to participate. I'm guessing that everybody here, like me, believes in limited government. Am I right? Yes. I'm guessing that you, like me, believe that the government that governs best is the government that governs least. Am I right? Yes. What does that have to do with being a juvenile court judge? On your tables, I didn't have enough for everybody tonight, but these cards are there, and you can have access to them by looking. There are 3 points on this card, and those 3 points are the essence of my campaign. They are the essence of what I promise you and what I offer you as a candidate for this position. Protect families, protect children, and keep a tight budget. Let's go through them one at a time. Protect families. Government likes to stick its nose in your business. It does it all the time, right? And we're tired of it. And when government comes and sticks its nose in your business, you need to have somebody in the legal system that's going to make sure that your rights are protected. There aren't too many rights that we have as Americans that are more important than the right to raise our children and do it the way we see fit. And when government comes knocking on your door and says, I need to ask you questions about how you're raising your kids. I need to accuse you of something, or somebody else has accused you of mistreating your children, and we need to talk. There's a reason to do that, don't get me wrong, but it needs to be done according to the rules. And there should not be anybody coming from government that's going to trample on your rights as a parent, or a grandparent, or custodian, anybody that has responsibility for children. I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen. On the other side of that, however, is the next point on that card, which is protecting children. I told you about my passion for this. If you don't believe anything else that I tell you tonight, leave here knowing that I am extremely passionate about this. You heard a little bit about the heroin epidemic. It is an epidemic. It's destroying our communities. It is infecting and destroying families. In Portage County, we took 11 kids away from 3 families last week. We've only taken 3 away from 2 families this week. Although I've got 3 more kids that I've got a police department that thinks kids being present when heroin is being sold and parents that are using heroin does not present a risk to their safety. I'm in the process of doing whatever needs to be done to take care of that problem. The point is, this heroin epidemic it's destroying families all over the place. There are people out there who will mistreat children in ways you can't even imagine. That's not going to happen on my watch. Those cases come in my courtroom, in a juvenile court. Those kids are going to be protected. The families are going to be offered services. We're going to comply with the law. The law says that we have to spend at least 2 years trying to reunify those families, and we'll do that. There are effective programs that we have. There are great service providers in this county. I've worked with all of them. I know all those people. I know all of the service providers. I know all the services. I've worked with them for 23 and a half years. We'll make the effort. But if those parents don't do what they need to do, on my watch, those kids are not going back to an unsafe situation. Last but not least, keep a tight budget. We'll go back to what I told you earlier. 1 judge, 2 courts. It's the only judgeship in the county. 1 judge, 2 courts. It's the only judgeship in this county that requires somebody who has management capabilities, management experience. There are over 40 people that work for those 2 courts. This judge is responsible for those people. They work for this judge. Over $4 million of your tax dollars are spent in that court, in those 2 courts every year. Over $4 million. Plus, there is a joint county detention facility that this judge sits as chairperson of the board of trustees that oversees the operation of that facility. Another $1 million of your money being spent and more employees to manage. This is not a place for somebody to learn on the job. I told you earlier I have a master's degree in business administration. I have a business background. I spent 4 years working in governmental accounting and budgeting. I know this business. I know it well. I'm well suited to take over that responsibility and to guard your tax dollars. And that's my third pledge to you. You elect me to this position, I will protect your rights, I will protect children, and I will keep a tight budget. Now, with that, I hope I've convinced you that you would consider voting for me. If you have reached that conclusion, there's 3 things I need from you. I need your help. I'm going to be outspent a whole bunch in my race, and the only way we win is outwork them. On your table is a flyer about my Super Saturday, an event on October 4th. We need people to come and help us. If you can come, I'd love to have you come back during the break and sign up and tell me you're coming, but you don't have to. If you can just show up, we will take all the help we can get. Secondly, we're going to have cards to mail out to people where you can tell your friends about me. I'll make those available to you at the next meeting. I'd love to have you do that. And of course, there's yard signs back here. If you can help us out with a yard sign, I'd love to have your help. Folks, I'm here to protect your rights and make sure this job is done right. I thank you for your time.